the big question that has been troubling people right across the globe is, what happened to Neil and Sarah of To Go Roam?
Yes, we just vanished into thin air, but there are two very good reasons why we haven't done a video recently. The first one of those reasons you will see in the next two videos.
Yeah.
And what's the other one, Neil?
The other one is, well, actually, before I get to that, Sarah, I just want to thank everybody, because we've had so many comments and so many emails from people all over the world asking, are we okay? And before we go any further, I just want to tell you, yes, we are better than okay. We're doing fantastic, if I'm honest.
And thank you all for your concern. I'm sorry that we worried you.
Yeah, and that wasn't the plan. We didn't plan to just disappear.
No.
So the other reason why we disappeared is, well, I came up with an idea for a new project because I don't have enough to do with my life, clearly.
You've retired.
I know. And this comes back to those of you that watched our original channel, To Go Roam, which I effectively mothballed about nearly a year ago, is something that's really been kind of troubling me and concerning me of why I did it. Now, if you haven't seen that channel, over there, that's where Sarah and I started to share our travels.
Yes.
And then slowly but surely, we transitioned it into kind of an early retirement travel. And then I took it on into discussing the finances of early retirement and financial independence.
Psychology of it.
And the psychology of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And what happened was, about a year ago, I was really starting to get into my stride. I was really starting to feel the direction I was taking it in. And then I released a video, and that video got, let's just say, some negative comments. Comments around the subject of either I was being boring, you wouldn't have been the first person to ever told me that, or that I was being
self-indulgent.
Self-indulgent.
That was one of the key.
And it was when I read the self-indulgent one, I thought, yeah, I'm done here. And the main reason, because I've never been self-indulgent on the channel. If you think about why a lot of people start YouTube channels, it's to make money. And over the last 5 years, if you've been following us, you will know that Sarah and I have apparently gone out of our way to avoid getting any kind of money.
Yeah.
So that channel became a finance-based channel. And as you may imagine, we had all kinds of sponsor opportunities of people wanting to throw money at us so that we would push their product. One thing we always stuck by was we didn't want our viewers to have products pushed on them in our videos, because if for no other reason, it would kind of dilute the message. If we're talking about, for example, right, if I'm talking about how to save for your retirement, and my view on that is there's no such thing as get rich quick, it's get rich slowly and methodically and not doing anything exciting. Then I'm getting all these people coming to me saying, oh, why don't you sell our company Masterclass as a company who they will...
Oh, the art.
Yeah, they've got art and your viewers can invest in art. Well, that goes totally against what that channel was about. So coming back to the point of being self-indulgent, I'd gone in the opposite direction to indulging us financially. And in fact, we were talking to our accountant the other day, and we laughed at the fact of us ever having to pay tax because we have steered clear of earning enough money to ever need to pay tax. So at that point, I thought to myself, well, do you know what, Sarah? Why am I making this channel if people are thinking I'm being self-indulgent, but the reason I thought I was doing it was to help other people? Why don't I just stop? And that's what we did.
Yeah.
But over those forthcoming months after that, it's been going around my head. By the way, we're in a lovely location here. Do you know where we are? Does anyone know where this is? Fortunately, we do, because Sarah and I are currently making this video in Malta. And we'll come on to that at the end of this video as well, why we're in Malta and what comes next. But I was thinking about the fact that I want to help people, and in a way it just felt like it's being thrown back in my face, and I found that was really difficult. But I want to thank everybody for their comments, negative and positive, on that video, because it's given me a chance to step back and think about whether there was any value there. Now, I think in life, there's the 80-20 rule, and that is that basically 80% of your success comes from 20% of your endeavors, really. So when looking at it, I was thinking that maybe 20% of viewers of To Go Rome loved it and kind of bought into everything I was talking about. Probably another 60 or 70% thought, I like some of what Neil's talking about, but not all of it. So I dip in and out every now and again, and probably 10 to 20% disliked everything I ever said and just watched our videos just so they could get annoyed by the kind of stuff I would come out with. So I thought
Their
on
time
that.
they're wasting.
It's their own time they're wasting, and mine, it appeared.
Yeah.
But I thought about that long and hard, then it struck me like that,
Did?
between the eyes, as I recollect. And that was, I was thinking, well, what people are seeing is what early retirement looks like and the finances of early retirement from a single perspective, from my perspective. And my perspective is great, but my perspective is highly likely not yours. So we floated in a video on To Go Rome Travels a few months ago the fact that could we maybe interview other retirees about what they've done? Feedback on that was incredible, wasn't
It was
it?
incredible, and it was really interesting because I wasn't for this idea at all, because we have retired and we're travelling and there's going to be extra work, so I wasn't for it. And I actually thought, yeah, but will people find that interesting? But the response was overwhelming.
Yeah.
It was clear that that's what people want to
Yeah.
watch the channel for and get that information. Even if you haven't retired, if you have retired, it's still
It's
really, it's
useful
just
information,
interesting knowing how people have done it and things like that. So
Exactly. So it's in that video when I mentioned it was kind of a throwaway comment, but
yeah,
the responses were incredible. So few people actually reached out to me after that saying, yeah, if you are doing the interviews, we've got a story to tell. So what we've been working on, and it turns out it's just taken a lot more work than I ever imagined that it would do. This retirement isn't going well for
because you
me,
did
Sarah.
try to sell it to me going, oh, it'll be easy to do it, this is this, and I knew it's going to be a lot of work.
I know.
But now you've started doing it, haven't you? So
I have.
we sort of realise what work it is now,
Yeah.
and we just need to build it in.
So what I've done so far is I've already conducted 4 interviews with retirees, and these are people of various ages and various locations and various stories for how they did it.
Backgrounds, different.
It's been amazing.
Careers,
It's been
yeah.
really enjoyable. Each one of them, though, just the prelim work to get it all sorted out has been hours and days of work, and then each interview, the actual time with the interviewees has been a minimum 2 hours, but in some cases up to 4 hours of conversation. All of that will get shrunk down into a nice bite-sized video for you. Don't worry, you haven't got to sit through a 4-hour interview. But so far, I've interviewed a couple from Canada, a couple from the US, a couple from Scotland, and a chap who's lived the majority of his life in Hong Kong.
Yeah, and they've had to work at their journeys, and
Yeah, it's been far from
been hard
straightforward
work.
and different walks of life. So it's been really exciting. And in the interviews, I've been focusing in on the finances, how they're actually financing their retirement, and have the finances gone the way that they expected? Are they spending more now or less than they expected? But also the psychology of making that step out of the workforce into the life after work. And that's what I'm calling this series, To Go Rome, Life After Work. Now, you have got a job here, okay? This is really important. This is something you're going, oh, this is interesting. Things you have to do is you've got to go back to our To Go Rome channel, because it's going to be starting in the new year. We will announce it on To Go Rome Travels again.
Yes.
But make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you've rung the bell over there so you know when that content comes out. And when it does, this is the critical bit. When it does, if you're enjoying it, you must give it a thumbs up. You must do, what's that?
There's
new
a
thing,
there's a new
hype.
thing called hype, so
Yeah.
you must do that. We need
Yeah.
you to do that.
And share it with other people, because I don't know whether this is going to resonate. So if I release these 4 interviews, which have taken me weeks of work to pull together, I haven't even finished editing yet,
No.
just incidentally, if any of those couples are watching that I've interviewed, the American couple, yours is almost completed the edit. After that will be the Scottish couple, then the chap from Hong Kong, and then it will be the Canadian couple. So that's the order I'm working on these.
And you've got some more lined up. Which
I've
you
got
need to
more
do.
lined up, but I'm not going to get those lined up
No.
unless people here are saying, we love that. So when you see it, you got to give it all the love. Otherwise, I'll just think, yeah, people aren't interested in this either. And then I will just get back to retirement because I ain't doing this for the money. Believe me on that one. Now, I said, why are we in Malta? We haven't given up our travel. So
No.
Sarah said, there is another reason you've not seen us. We'll come to that, as she said, in the next 2 videos. But after that, we're going to be sharing our travels again. We're spending a good amount of time here in Malta, and then you ain't going to believe
Yes.
what we got coming up after
Got
that.
Very exciting travels ahead.
Yeah, so we're really sorry for disappearing, but we are back, and we're back with a vengeance. We will see you next week in the next video. But Sarah, we've got a question we need to ask people. What is that?
Our dream is world travel. What's yours?